You're listening to the Vint Wine Podcast, where you'll hear interviews and stories from around the wine world. From writers and critics to winemakers and sommeliers, we'll explore the people and businesses who are instrumental in shaping wine culture. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Questions. In these quick conversations, we highlight the world-class writers, winemakers, and sommeliers featured on our full-length episodes in a quick 5-question format. We hope you learn a little bit more about the wine world and the people and companies that make it run. Enjoy. All right, we are here with 5 Questions with Marco Simonit. Thanks so much for joining today.
Thank you.
Question 1, what is your role in the wine industry, or what do you do in the wine industry?
Today, I try to do my best to have the human side, to have a best relation with the vines, and to try to have the vines more connected with the terroirs. And if they are really connected with the terroirs, they can maybe help the humans to make very characterful wines.
Perfect. Question number 2, what do you think is the most important issue facing the wine world right now?
There are a lot of things, but for me, today around the world is to have enough knowledgeable people work in the fields. Because for making wines from terroir and unique situations around the world, to find also tailor-made solutions, you need people with knowledge. And there are difficult today to have consistency, workers teams or people work consistency year after year, season after season in the fields. And this, I know it's a problem around the world, but I suggest the wineries and the vineyards, the wine growers, to try to become good teachers because they need. I always remember the experience with La Lerroir in Bourgogne when we have an experience amazing with different years with her. And always she put a lot of notes in the book, in the paper, and I always ask her, not always, but in the beginning, because after she said me, but you don't understand that because I do this. Because she, for example, to pass the knowledge, to share the knowledge in the vineyard, in the pruning, in the canopy management, in the making the bridge with the shoes, for the shoe selection, in the cellar. So, if you like to preserve your heritage, you need to become also a good teacher and teach and coach the people working in the field and build your own, I say, tailor-made procedures. Because people change and you need to become ready for teach. Also, new people come to help you year after year. But you need to develop really a program, a planification for this. Become a part of the process.
That's fantastic. I agree. And your passion comes across in the answer. That's awesome. Question number 3. This is a little bit of a change of pace, but you travel around the world and get to experience wines from many different regions. What are 1 or 2 wine regions or wines that you think people should know more about that maybe the rest of the world doesn't hear about that often?
Oh, it's very difficult. It's not very, very easy, this subject, because I really love the different places around the world. I always learn from everybody. Every day, I consider myself very lucky to travel a lot, to see different landscapes. There are so many different interesting places, but for example, in this time, jump in my mind, for example, the Portugal, or some parts of the Portugal. Well, the people doesn't know a lot. Of course, they know, but this is not very, very, very famous, let me say. For example, now we have the incredible, amazing terroir, local varieties. They but huge potential for making local wines come from terroir, or also the Alentejo, for example. But there are so many places around the world. I love also South America. You can find amazing, incredible terroirs. It's difficult for me. Or the Swiss, some part of the Swiss, they are amazing. I love Bourgogne, I love Champagne. So it's difficult for me to say something particularly, but for sure, I really love to stay with the vignerons, the families where they are really involved. Of course, we have a very incredible experience in some place like, for example, Bordeaux, where there are companies. But in the end of the day, the human side, I believe the humanism need to make the difference. The humanism in the field, the humanism in the, to make wine, the humanism to transfer the information, the humanism for build the teams work in the fields, in the cellar. I like to everywhere to find spend the time where I feel more humanism in the field, more humanism for making wines.
Mm.
I like to stay this place. I like to share the knowledge where I feel this. And of course, there are in so many places around the world, and we can also. I always to try different wines around the world. I really like to try the wines. I really like to understand from the people making wines the different things. When the people make wines come from a single vineyard, and you can understand the character of the vineyard, and you can also try to work together, to drive a bit together to the end of the day. It's not easy to answer to your question, but I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky because amazing experience and people where I can stay around the world. But I consider myself very, very lucky in this side.
Fantastic. All right, 2 more questions. 4 is, what is a current wine trend that you disagree with or don't like? And it could be in the vineyard perhaps or elsewhere.
In this moment, a lot of people try to take more attention to make wines. The people like the market, like more light wines, less alcohol, more freshness. This less aging, less full body, I don't know what you. But in the end of the day, I think if you try to make wines come from terroir, you can also understand them and promote your wines because the character of your wine comes from the terroir. Of course, there are the winemaking, but I believe the winemaking can be really respect the character of the place, and so you can feel the wine from the place. Sometimes you don't think about which kind of variety is inside or which kind of winemaking things happen. You just feel the character of the place in the wine. A lot of people today, my feeling around the world is also, I heard a lot about this. We need to do more drinkable wines, less alcohol, more freshness, more acidity, not to do. So this is part of the winemaking, but depends in which kind of terroir you are. If you do wines from terroir, is another chapter.
That makes sense.
I don't know if I answered your question.
No, that was perfect. No, you did. Definitely. And I agree. Last question here. What is one wine-related experience in recent years that just stands out to you the most or pops out in your mind?
Let me think about, because again, we do a very incredible experience everywhere. But I'm always really, I feel a lot of energy and emotional side when I saw some vignerons really make work in special place and find the solution for the place. So for me, the special things come from the artisanal solution. So for me, it's excited what I saw and I met situation in the world where you can understand the story, and the story comes through the knowledge, and the knowledge pass and increase the details and become more and more and more precise with the time. And you can feel the unique situation in terms of terroir, in terms of genetic, in terms of architect, in terms of approach, in terms of winemaking. I really like this unique situation where you can feel really the character. This is very emotional for me because it is not really easy and common to find if you jump outside to the normal ways or normal districts. You can become also lucky to meet and find a situation like this. But for me, it's very emotional again. When you understand this is not born yesterday, this is come through the story, this is come through the knowledge, this is become adapt in the time because the time make the difference. And when you feel the time was a very strong part of the process, because the time can be make the difference, even with or develop the epigenetic characters in the vines and make the wines also more different. But this you feel the time, you feel the unique situation, and not like a standard. Because today in the wine industry, in the different places in the world, you can also feel some, let me say, not standard, but similar approach. And for me, again, the spirit of vigneron, the spirit of the place, the sense of the place make the difference. So when you feel this and you feel in the story, you feel in the wine, you feel in the people, this become amazing, even in the community where you are. And there are so many places around the world where you can feel this. And for me, every time is a part of my emotional side, part of my really important part of my life, not only professional, but even in the human side.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been 5 Questions with Marco Simonit.